hand in hand. Rivers of filth drown the land. I am Cypher's master of decay. In the name of ruin, I claim the day. The Imperium's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth. Carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth, I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death god, where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Noble's name I spread death with ease. Desolate walks with me hand in hand. Rivers of filth drown the land. I am Cypher's master of decay. In the name of ruin, I claim the day. The Imperium's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth. Carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth, I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death god, where despair.
Behold, I have evolved. I have become one with the grandfather himself. I am become him, the great unclean one. The bringer of disease and pestilence. The greatest gift I can be bestowed upon me from the grandfather has been given, and I have become one of his loyal ones. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Disgustingly Resilient podcast and another episode of The Plague. So I have no reason to have this on right now. There we go. How is everyone doing tonight? As you can see, I have ascended. This is brilliant. You know, I have become a nurgling, well, probably a nurgling to be honest, given my height. Yeah, I'm more of a nurgling than a great unclean one, but so hello and welcome to Plague Surgery. For you new here, this is the weekly episode sort of live stream we do where we go through our Plague Marine members lists and sort of go through some of them on stream, have a chat about them, maybe give some advice, some feedback and some thoughts on the list and how it can do, and yeah, we sort of go from there. So if you are interested in getting your list possibly reviewed, please consider becoming a Blight Lord member, as Oliver has just become a Plague Marine. Blight Lord members are a bit more expensive than Plague Marine, but you get access to these list reviews. But if you want to support the channel, become a Plague Marine, you get access to our Discord, get in there, get all the good stuff. So yeah, but yeah, welcome to the stream. I'm sorry, I'm a little flustered. This putting this on last minute has properly threw me off. So let's go in. I'm going to try and keep this on as long as possible. It is absolutely. I don't know if anyone's actually got one of these. It was on the Warhammer official merch store, but they're very, very warm. Like, they do a great job at insulating you. But my goodness, for someone like myself who's always naturally warm, this is like hell right now. So, hopefully you're having a good night, and let's get straight into this. So, let me go to my thingamajigger, get the actual lists up. So, I had some people left over from the last one who wanted to get theirs covered. So, let's go first things first, into, where's the people's names? Oh, good lord, there's a lot of entries now. Right, so we were going to do Roly Poly and Chris Franson. So, let's have a look. Roly Poly, right, here you are. So, Taliban summoners, right? We need to load the demons up. We need to load the demons. Saved objects. Demons. Where are the demons at? Taliban, there we go. Taliban. Okay, cool. Get the demons in. Oh, God, this is already absolutely roasting. Righty. So, first things up, let's look at this list. So, we need a Rotigus, which we've got. We need a Lord of Contagion, which we've got. We need a Taliban, which we'll go grab. I need to actually make sure this is like not cutting off the microphone, so I'll have to wear it like an absolute idiot. Tallyman, where are you? Hiding over here somewhere. There you are. Then we're going to have one squad of 10 Plague Bearers. Let's grab these boys here. Over down. 2 Beasts of Burgle. Beast of Burgle, there you are. Beast of Burgle. Beast of Burgle. Then we need 2 squads of Death Shroud Terminators. Grab these guys, times these by 2. 1, 2. Boom, boom. Yeah, this is actually my normal form. I actually have to assume a human form when I'm out in public. But I thought I'd just let the guys drop now and I just become an actual great Nurgling. A great Nurgling one. We'll call it that. 2 Mythic Blight Haulers. So 2 HP Eldons, 2 Mythic Blight Haulers. 10 Poxwalkers. So we'll grab those. Getting quite a bit in this list. Cool, that there. Then we need 6 Nurglings, which we've already got up here. And then rounding it all out, we've got a big old Knight Despoiler with the double battle cannon. So I to imagine this thing's got double battle cannons. Righty, so here we are. Okay, so there's a bit of a note at the top of this, I think. Let me have a look. Just had a local turn this past weekend and picked up first place. Excellent work, Roly, well done. Only 12 players, but 3 of them are playing VV. I was a traitor though and bought GSC fan. I retract my statement, Roly-Poly. I thought you took Death Guard. You are not. But still, well done. I have another one coming up in January out of town, and I'm thinking Death Guard might be a go. I don't want to bring something meta, and VV bores the crap out of me anyway. Fair, valid. Here's my TS draft list. Any critique would be much appreciated. Right, okay. So, when it comes to Taliband, there's realistically 2 sort of builds that we go for. Now, the first of these builds is Chunk, which you've got a bit of. Like, the Chunk build looks at basically going like this route here. So you go like this, and you're basically looking at bringing like a bunch more Demon Engines, maybe another Great Unclean one, whatnot. Or the other option is the 6-inch Deep Strike sort of spam. Now, because we've got the Despoiler in here, it kind of already like makes you want to go towards the Chunk build because you want to use this. But there is a way to make this still work, even as like a half and half build. But you do require a little bit of what I would say you're desperately missing is a way realistically to get good charges off with Rotigus, for example, and like these Plague Bearers, for example. So Poxwalker's probably going to hold home in this one here. You've got an infiltrating screen of Nurglings that will be sacrificed first turn every single time. That gets killed turn 1, you pay a CP, you get it back. But if it can trap them, that's brilliant. If it can tag stuff, that's also brilliant. Now, the shooting package, do not mind here. So the shooting package is pretty good. We've got all this good stuff here. Now, the key to making the 6-inch Deep Strikes work, here's the thing, it's a bit of a weird on this because I don't feel like there's enough to make use of the 6-inch Deep Strike. Like, in reserves right now, we could do something like this. When this dies in turn 1, that will also go in. And we've got these 2 squads here. So that's actually a fair amount in Deep Strike. Now, I'm unsure how I feel about Unled Death Shroud. I feel like their best thing is enabling the 6-inch Deep Strike for certain other characters here. So what I would possibly consider looking at doing... Now, because you've got the Despoiler, I'll be honest, these bloat drones are a little bit redundant. They have a bit of better AP, but this guy has the same sort of profile. 10, -1, admittedly, instead of -2, and flat 3 damage, but he has a lot more shots. So realistically, these are probably like the odd bits in here. Like, it's good to still have more long-range shooting, but I would consider potentially looking at like swapping these out and going heavier on the 6-inch Deep Strike in front. So for me, that would be something like, I've missed a Poxwalker. I've normally got 1 extra, now I'm 1 down. Obviously, you've got a timer that can also start on home here as well. So you've got a timer that can camp home. So what I'd be looking at is potentially doing away with those and then getting yourself a LOV. I suppose you kind of want your LOV for that, because you could go LOV. I don't want LOV. Or do we want LOC? Because the thing is, we want to try and bring a Beckoning Blight, because Beckoning Blight is kind of what opens up the rest of your sort of like list to interact with the opponent. What you need is something that's going to spread contagion early, and then something that's basically going to be able to enable the 6-inch Deep Strike. So Beast and Nurgle are great for going up with that, but they need something nearby to give them contagion. But again, like a Blight Hauler can accompany each one of these, and now they've both got contagion. That thing can move through the wall and set up a Deep Strike. And basically what you're looking to do is you're looking to set up a Deep Strike with something like this unit here. Have the Beckoning Blight on this unit, and when this unit drops in, it then creates a 12-inch drop zone of not relying on contagion to be able to drop in Rotigus. So basically what you'll kind of do is you'll kind of chain it. So you'll have like a Beast of Nurgle back here. And like we often see the Beast of Nurgle actually paired up with Chaos Spawn. So what Derek's also been doing recently. So you have something like this, for example. And even the Nurglings, if they start up the field forward, like, and they don't get killed, maybe you hit them for a turn behind a wall and they come out. If the Chaos Spawn then move within 7 inches of these guys here, then these project Contagion out now 6 inches on turn 2, which then would allow you to, like, you know, basically what you can do with this movement is you can kind of like do this with it and rotate it. So you keep one guy in, these guys advance forward like this. Coherency, now your Contagion's all the way out here. Then you can drop in the Death Shroud with the Beckoning Blight, for example, 6 inches away. Then the Lord of Virulence is going to create a 12-inch bubble of being able to drop all your demons in. So now you can, within 6 inches, now you can join Rotagus, now you can join the Plague Bearers, all this kind of good stuff like this. And then it kind of like just skyrockets from there, because at that point, you kind of like just overwhelming your opponent with forces that you can do. So that tends to be the way to sort of do this a little bit. Have I got a bowl cut? Apologies. My hair naturally, unfortunately, bowl cuts, which is a crime. And it looks absolutely awful. I will catch up with your chat in a second. I'm just trying to explain sort of my thoughts on this one. So what I would actually be looking at here, potentially, is... Let's put this back. Timeman's pretty okay. He's not the greatest in the world. But what I'm thinking is... you can either drop a drone here, and that would pick up your Beckoning Blight. Or the alternative would be to do something like... Because I just kind of want something to push up with these guys here. So these two drones here... you're going to have to drop one of them to get a character in. Like, I feel like for the 6-inch Deep Strike list, because we've seen the list from Derek, we've seen the list from PS Condren, Epsy, in our Discord, who've both done the 6-inch Deep Striking tricks. And, like, the core of the list is, like, these two units here. So you have one with the Beckoning Blight, which is going to be the Lord of Virulence. You can put Fell Harvester on this guy to give him +2 attacks on the left. Now... Epsy Pierce likes to go with the route where he has like a Rhino, and inside that Rhino he's going to have the Lord of Poxes, which is going to help. Obviously he has +3-inch Contagion. Then you need a Nurgle Demon, so you get another +3-inch Contagion. So on turn 2 he has a 12-inch Contagion, which is really, really good. But because we've got a lot of points in other units here, like we've got this big boy here, I feel like we need to potentially get rid of the blood. Like, I know it seems counterproductive, like you're thinking the blast's really good for these guys, and it is. Don't get me wrong, like that is really good, and it's a bit of a nuisance to have to get rid of it. But right now we're floating like 120 points. Beast and Nurgle are pretty good. I feel like you could potentially go with drop a Beast and Nurgle here. So I'm floating 185 points. I would probably go and look at picking up some Chaos Spawn. Because the Chaos Spawn go really well with the Beast and Nurgle, because they both got Scout. Now they're giving each other Contagion. These guys can go and help out the Nurglings as well. That's going to feel pretty good. The Poxwalkers over here. Now, don't worry, you're still going to give real ones to hit for these little guys, which is pretty cute, which is not too bad. And we're floating 105 points. So if you're like worried about like being in a tank meta, you could like triple down on this and have 3 haulers, rely on the Despoiler to sort of do your thing, your damage to like infantry, because it's really good at that. You could also potentially swap your Despoiler out to Gatling cannons, just rinse infantry. Then you've got triple anti-tank here. All your melee be able to punch tanks. Rotagus is pretty good at punching tanks. 7 attacks, AP4. If you're in -1 save Contagion at flat 4 damage, really, really good. Obviously, these units can kill. We're floating 10 points as well from this here. So those 10 points can then pick up Fell Harvester on this guy here to give him the +2 attack. So, like, I think that's probably something I'd probably look at. It leans more into the 6-inch Deep Strike archetype. So off the board at the start of the game, you're going to go like this, Rotagus, and probably the Plague Bearers. I know you kind of want, like, a lot of times you'll have 2 units of these, one will sticky home, but in this instance, because you've got a Tallyman, you're going to have someone that can sit on home anyway. So Tallyman sits on home, these guys kind of infiltrate, these guys are looking to be, like, your initial Contagion spreaders, the Despoiler's obviously just your big shooty boy, and you're just looking to, these guys screen up quite aggressively. If they die again, you bring them back, so realistically, you've got 2 units of these anyway. And then you're just looking up for a big turn where you can get off some good charges. So, again, if these die, they'll be joining this wave of Deep Strikes as well, and they can all come at 6. And you're looking at, basically, the Plague Bearers want to try and do a 5-inch charge, because they got +1 to charge, and they can drop 6 away. So they can go flip a primary. These obviously want to get into combat and deal some actual damage, and Rotagus is going to be, obviously going somewhere using his -OC to be a big chunky boy. You're kind of looking to attack the primary with this list. I know Pierce's version of the list with the Lord of Poxes, which is, because of that 12-inch Contagion range, it's a lot more aggressive, a lot more into your opponent's backlines instantly, because you have that massive, again, if you have a Lord of Poxes in a Rhino, he hops out 8, he's got a 12-inch Contagion range on turn 2, so that's already 20 to 26 threat, which is pretty brutal there. So, like, for me, like, this feels like a nice sort of midpoint between the sort of, like, not going super hard on the 6-inch strike. It's still got a lot of 6-inch deep strike potential and playmaking, but you've also got okay, we just blindfolded ourselves. You've also got still quite a bit of play and a bit of utility to go with, like all these scout moves and things like that, and action monkeys. So this feels pretty good. So that's probably what I'm going to recommend for this one, Roly Poly. I think if you're going to go Taliban route with a despoiler anyway, I think pretty good. The alternative option is going harder into the demon engine. So at that point, if you go the other way, you know, you're looking at maybe dropping like one of these squads Death Shroud here, keeping the 2 bloat drones in, maybe picking up that 3rd bloat drone, and sort of going from there down the more chunky route, or you're going to have to go and invest in more Great on Clean ones. So I think this is the one that probably requires the least amount of changes, because all you're doing is bringing in a lot of virulence with Beckoning Blight, bringing in a Pathetic Blight Hauler, taking out a Beast, upgrading to some Chaos Spawn, and then the 10th floating points you're going to put on the Lord of Contagion here. So that's probably my recommendations for that one, Roly Poly. Thank you for submitting it. And best of luck with Taliban. I am learning Taliban currently at the moment myself. I've got an event this weekend with it, which I'm looking forward to. So yeah, we're gonna go there. We're gonna go there. Then we got Chris Franson, who's up next, and I'm gonna have a quick check in with the chat in a second. And I am gonna have to take this hoodie off because, good lord, this is warm. Give me 2 seconds, guys. This is so warm. There we go. I have shed my outer layers. Right. Here's Chris in the chat. I cannot see his post anywhere in here. What's he called? Chris Franson. Is it Chris? Is it just Chris here? Chris Franson. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So this, yeah, right. Got it. Sweet. Right, let's go for this one then. So very quickly, I'm going to check up with the chat. How's everybody doing? Everyone having a good evening? This is what it normally looks like. Yep, Johnny Combo. Yep, they need to do this music video with the intro wearing that thing. God, dancing that thing get very, very warm. Yes, I have been coming in at Great Unclean One L Troll. You are correct. You want big curb streams? Okay, no worries. I'm trying to get big curb on. Yeah, my bowl cut was horrendous. I apologize for putting that on you. Hello, Tony. How are you doing, mate? Okay, cool. Hello, Adam. How are you doing as well, man? Right, let's get up the next list. So this is Chris Franson. So now this one says, so let's build it first as we always do. So we're going to need a lot of Contagion, Lord of Virulence. So we're just going to grab that. Lot of Contagion, Lord of Virulence. Boop, boop. Then we're going to have a... Okay, straight into Predators. Okay, Predator Destructor. Let's go Predator. I like Predators. 1 Predator Destructor. 2 Predator Destructor. So double Predator... No, that is copy and pasting Discord in. There we go. 2 Predator Destructors. Then we're going to have a unit of Chaos Spawn. Grab those guys. Ooh, there we go. Chaos Spawn. I'm just going to throw these away for a second. Be gone. 2 squads of Death Shroud Terminators. So again, we grab you. Over here. So go bop, bop. You're going to be leading them. You're going to be leading them. That's my expectations anyway. So bop, bop. Then we have 1, 2, 3 of the normal bloat drones. 2 of them rocking Plague Spitters. 1 of them rocking the Flesh Mower. Like to see this. Bit different. I think the normal drones are genuinely pretty underrated. I think they are just still really good for 100 points, which is really, really good. You don't want to watch me play Taliban. I'm still learning it. I'm hoping for a 4-1, but we're going to see how that goes. I got my shit rocked by a Storm Raven recently and kind of knocked the old confidence down a bit, but clearly it's because the Storm Raven is a bullshit model. And if you're in the chat, Oliver, fuck you. I hate the Storm Raven so much. That thing literally gives me PTSD every single time I see it. So we got 3 Pathetic Lighthouse, 3 more HBL drones. I like this. Okay. Making the most of these sort of like cheap engines here. And then we got 1, 2 squads of Poxwalkers. Okay, cool. So now 1, 2 squads of Poxwalkers. This is interesting because it kind of goes along the route of the same sort of logic I was applying when I was running with the sort of the Shambler, where it's basically, hey, let's take all the cheap and efficient demon engines, take some stuff near it, but instead of having 100 zombies, instead here we've got 2 squads of Death Shroud Terminators, which are pretty good. Now let's just have a quick check. So this is Virulent. Okay, it's Virulent Victorium as well. Okay, right. Let's have a read of what the reasoning for this is. So, trying to put some of the lessons that I enhanced video into practice. Very interested in your thoughts on the bloat drone weapons. I'm also pretty open to changing attachments here. It might be good to just run hammer with this much shooting. It would also be cheeky to put this much shooting in a Shambler list where we spawn in move blockers most turns. Also, we're not currently using enhancements that we'd have to change. That's fine. I'm personally most experienced with VV, and Leech Spur Eruption and Pooch Detonation are both awesome. They are very good, and also reroll shots is pretty good here with all the triple heavy blight launch drones, and you've got flamers as well can use it, which is pretty good. I'm also open to any way you want to tweak the list to add sweet vehicles. I have a big range of available models, so I already quite like the list. Now, there is a couple of arguments here of which way to take this. So, if we are, for example, in VV, this is already pretty solid. Like, this in VV, pretty straightforward, pretty solid. Now, obviously, you don't have the Demon Prince, you don't have, like, any Plague Marines, but that's fine. Like, you've still got access to, like, a lot of good things here. Like you said, you've got the heal, you've got the reroll shot amounts. You have the Extended Contagion aura, which is also really important for having bloat drones like this, having the haulers and these spawn. Now, the only problem is that outside of that, a sticky would also help this as well, because sticky is very good for vehicles, because you can stick it and move off it, which is really nice. Now, outside of that, there is an argument to be made. So if you were to take this into Shambler, there's an argument that you probably drop the spawn, possibly, and just pick up another unit of Poxwalkers. You float 15 points, then though is the problem, which is not ideal. But I do feel like the Poxwalkers, just because, again, you have the option of, if you're playing early, you can put one in Deep Strike, for example, but also gives you those early screens. And the spawn is less necessary when you're in Poxwalker spam, because you should have loads of trash to just sort of push up and go ahead. Because again, in Poxwalker spam, I basically did the same list minus that. I put in a Plague Bus instead. So like, there's an argument, to be honest, if you wanted to do it and you wanted to have Sorrow Siphon in here, you could potentially, like, I'm fine with one squad of Terminators in this list. I think that's pretty good. But, like, this is 260, so you could go Rhino, that's 80, and then Casters, which are 60. So that's 120, that's 205 points. So you can go that there. That would also be pretty good, gives you a bit more on the field play, a bit more sort of aggression with it as well. That would be what? So you got 260 points there. The Rhino is 80, or is it 85 these days? I always forget the bloody Rhino cost. Let's have a look. Plague Bus is very fun in this attachment as well. Especially if you can potentially load up. Oh, I am floating 15 from the spawn as well. Don't forget that. So we're floating 15 from the spawn. The Rhino is indeed, it's 85 yet, and then the Casters are 60 points each, so 120. So that is 205, which would leave us floating 50. 205. That's 260, 55 points. 15 from there, so that would actually get you another potential set of Poxwalkers as well. This is the way I'd probably take it if I was to do Shambler. Because then you've still got, again, you've got plenty of infiltrators. You've got one that can sit on home. You've got 3 squads of infiltrators. You have a very scaly Plague Bus. Wouldn't take Sorrow Siphon here. I would just use the Plague Bus as like a scary flamer sort of fast response unit. Plague Bus is really, really, really good at punishing early aggression, because things like infantry that push through, like 10 berserkers with Khan, get fucking obliterated by the Plague Bus. And the cool thing about the Plague Bus is, if you're against 10 berserkers with Khan, for example, what you do is, let's say this is the berserkers, for example. I know there's technically should be more of them, but you will drive the Plague Bus up to them. You will have a predator come out, shoot them. They will then go, ha ha, cool, I'm going to blood surge into the closest thing. Oh shit, it's a Rhino. They get into close combat with you, and then you just fire with the firing deck. You've got -1 save. You've got +1 AP. So now these things in here are going to be AP4, and because they're right next to you, they're not going to have cover, because you're obviously going to all be around you. So they just like flat out dice. You just go, cool, right, thanks for being near me. You know, here's 2d6 +6 shots, wounding you on 2s, going straight through your armor, and everyone that's a 3-up is just a guy straight dead. Like, it's pretty damn powerful for that. So it's really good against those early pressure armies, especially Blood Surge armies. absolutely despise the Plague Bus because it's just, you can shoot something and you're just like, cool, you want a blood surge into it? I genuinely don't care because I'm about to hit you with like potentially up to 18 high AP good damage flamer shots. It's gross. So like this is where I'd go if I was to go with the Shamble Rot route. The VV route I think was fine, like how you had it with the, I think the double death shroud and the VV is pretty good because of the -1 damage. So I like your VV route that you had. Then the last one would be if you go to the Mortarian's Hammer route. So let's just again remove these. We had 2 Poxwalkers, didn't we? Yep, so let's remove these. So then if you were to go the Mortarian's Hammer route here, the spawn honestly are pretty good, but they're not as essential because you're just going to pick and choose your contagion. It's still obviously good to have them. The question is, what could you drop to sort of like get them like what could you drop and replace them with? Like that where it becomes a bit of a harder discussion here, because you obviously need Poxwalkers. There's an argument you just instead take a 3rd unit of Poxwalkers because obviously the one thing you got to be a bit scared of in Hammer is screens, but then you're floating 15 points. So then you could take the Shriek more familiar on the Lord of Virulence to give him free Overwatch. That's pretty good. And basically you just play like, this is my gun line. I pick stuff to put in Contagion. These guys drop down, charge them. It's very much more of a basic way of playing it. But having moved through walls with like these flamers, this flesh mower is really good as well. So there's a lot of plays here. You could again make an argument to bring all Plague Bussy back in because the Plague Bus with move through walls is really gross. Because you just move through a wall and shoot things, or give it assault and shoot things, really helps extend the range and where that thing can reach to. So that is also potential. You've obviously just got to make a choice like what you're potentially going to lose, which isn't great. So I think for Hammer, again, just because I just don't think the spawn are as needed, it's more important to have your screens up, really. But isn't it like, the list would work in Hammer fine, but I think if you were to drop to this, I think that would also work and just pick up 3 Overwatch. So it really depends. It depends how much Death Shroud you want to bring. I think the list works pretty much as is in Hammer and VV. I think if you go Shamble, you just need to mix it up a little bit, maybe drop down to 1 Death Shroud. 1 Death Shroud's still great in Shamble Rot because you can do the, oh, you just killed my Poxwalkers with your melee unit, which was hid behind a wall. I'm now going to pay a CP, so that unit's afflicted for the rest of the game. Oh, hello, 6 inches away and charge you for absolute free. Like, you can do a lot of nonsense. And don't forget, if someone's hiding a really scary unit behind a wall, you can int completely. Like, I've charged 10 Poxwalkers into 6 Sandguard that were alone on a flank. Or you can even, like, you know, heroic into it and get yourself killed just so I can put the thing on them to contagion them. So I know next turn, no matter where they are, I'm going to have a 6-inch deep strike on them. Which then forced him to run that unit back into his deployment zone. So it pushed them back and, like, stopped them pushing forward. The alternative being that he basically is forced to use them that turn or he's going to get deep striked on, which is quite fun. So yeah, those are probably the 3 variants I'd suggest for you, mate. Obviously, I'm quite high on Shambler and I'm quite high on Plague Bus at the moment. I think Plague Bus is brilliant and I'm so happy to see Dirtbag Derek also witness the power of the Plague Bus, and he basically said to me today that he's going to make sure it's in every single list from now on. So Plague Bus turns out pretty good. Turns out we're tooting that horn and it's been pretty good. It's so silly when it works. So yeah, thank you for submitting that, Chris. Hopefully that gives you some ideas how to go. But it looks a pretty solid list, mate. Lots of good cheap vehicles. I mean, you've still got what? 3, 6, 9. You got 11 hulls there. If you go with the Plague Bus route, you have 12 hulls there, which is kind of crazy. And the cool thing is, if you go with a Plague Bus route, you could also potentially drop a bloat drone because you've got your flamers covered in the Plague Bus. So then you could pick something else up with those 100 points that you float there. Maybe, you know, you could get like an extra like layer of screens or something, or you could get a Typhus in there would be awesome. So you could drop down solo, just do a bunch of mortal wounds to something, gives you a bit more action play as well. So just consider all those kind of things there, mate. Right. Next up, I believe I saw a Mr. Johnny Combo in the chat before. I believe I saw him in the chat anyway. Let me just double check. Yeah, I saw Mr. Johnny Combo and I saw his list in here. So, Mr. Johnny Combo, I'm going to pick yours because I have used your pictures you put in the content and photos section of the Discord for a video that I'm going to put up tomorrow. For the Deathlord's Chosen sample list video, so I want to get that up, and I've used your pictures of your Lord of Contagion and your Death Shroud inside that video. So consider this me acknowledging you, paying you back with, ironically, a list review on Deathlord's Chosen. So let's have a look. So we're playing Death Lord's Chosen here. So let's go and grab. I also saw Don Houston in the chat as well. Hello, Don. How are you doing, buddy? I hope you're doing well, mate. We've got Lord Virulence here. Then we've got a Tallyman, which is over here. Then we have a Typhus with a Lachrime. Where you at, Typhus? There you are. My favourite character in all of 40k. Oh, thank you very much to Lazy Chicken for the gifted membership there. Apologies, I did miss that one there. Thank you so much, and congratulations to Painting Wardles who picked that one up. Again, consider becoming a member. You get access to our amazing Discord where all this stuff is posted and people are always chatting away and helping each other. You also get access to painting guides that we also put up as well. And we're going to give away, which I'm putting up after this stream, for an amazing cool little Nurgle pillow that we got sent to us by Saltire Games and some gaming aids. So Natalie's going to punch me if I don't put that up tonight. So under threat of marital violence, even though we're not married, I will get that. I will get that up for you guys tonight. Okay, so then we have 10-man Blight Lord Terminators. Absolutely love this unit. By the way, I don't ever pick up the actual loadout. I just pick up 10 models. We obviously we'll talk about loadouts and whatnot. So technically, so in the lore, it's kind of debated with it. It's half implied that Typhus's mother was a victim of the word we can't say on YouTube that rhymes with the word grape, by one of the necromantic overlords of Barbarous, and that is why she was, I think she was killed by the villagers after he was born, which is also why Typhus is an immensely bitter person. It's also why he's larger than a normal marine, and why he's also psychic. They believe he was half-bred with them, but it's not 100% confirmed. It's just a running theory, and I think there's a book that may slightly hint towards it. But he would explain his connection to the warp and him being psychic, and why he is larger than normal, because he is larger than a normal human, and he's a bit larger than a normal marine in general as well. That is noted that he is a little larger, not ridiculous large. He's not like the the space shark person who's like fucking like 3 times a marine or something stupid. But he is that's a lot of contagion model. Okay, that's cool. But he is noticeably larger. Okay, so anyway, back off the lore thing. See, I do like me lore. I do like me lore. Lord Death Shroud Terminators. He's the complete opposite of me, and yes, I am not a half giant. Unfortunately, I am definitely a smaller person. Yes, those Xenos were larger. They were more larger than normal, your average human. The sort of necromantic tyrant people. 1-2 blow drones with the speeders. So 1-2 the speeders. 1-2. But and then 2 with the HBL drones. So 1-2. 2 HBL drones. And then we have 2 more Mythetic Blight haulers. Oh, hello. But and then we have 2 squads of 10 Poxwalkers. So these guys as well. Okay, so this is a bit interesting. So, I imagine it's going to be something like this in terms of layout. Now, this is quite different, and I actually don't mind this. So, what you'll often see quite a bit when it comes to DLC is you will see... The Tallyman's obviously going to hold home here. Some people don't go with Tallyman. He's okay in this attachment. Oh, we've also got some enhancements, I believe. We've also got a Face of Death. Yeah, we've got Face of Death. So, one thing I will instantly say is... this guy needs Vile Vigor. Vile Vigor is so important to making the Blight Lords work. It is kind of crazy how important it is. So, we're going to go with that straight up. Now, to do this, we also want to make sure... So, you've got a 6-man and a 6-man and 3-man and a 10-man. So, you're already quite elite. Now, some people will possibly suggest that you break this off here. And you go something... Because again, there's options you can go with. So you can go super aggro. You could potentially get rid of this fetid bloat drone. Bring in a second Lord of Contagion. But again, this is if you really want to go like Terminator heavy at this point. But we need to try and make space for this enhancement here. So like that there is just a 1-to-1 trade. So you're still having to look at trading something. Now you could, for example, drop the second one. and then basically pick up another bloat drone here, and and they can be mowers or whatever, or a hauler, and you basically have to play extremely aggressive because you have no long range shooting at all. So your first turn is going to be staging, and the second turn is going to be using these bloat drones to basically get up there and spread contagion as best as possible, get things in, and then we need to drop the Terminators in straight away. Now, obviously, we don't have Warp Rot Talisman as well. Warp Rot Talisman is pretty good because it means you can start unit on the board and up and down it. Now, that's not the biggest thing in the world. Like, I think I would personally, despite Warp Time being amazing, it is amazing, I would rather have the Vile Vigor because I think the Vile Vigor is too crucial to having these Blight Lords work because because you get the +1 movement and you get the rerolls in the advance, you look more at an average movement of about 10 for them, or at 9, 10 compared to 5. And that is almost doubling their distance every single turn. And I played this unit in VV at LGT, and it was the biggest mistake I ever did because without that extra assault ability and the good reliable advance rolls, they had amazing damage output, but I could never connect it to anything. And if you can't connect damage to anything, it is completely useless damage to you. Like it just doesn't exist. There's no point. So I need to just double check. Vile Vigor is the right amount of points. I believe it is 20. Where are my things? Death Guard, Taliban, Summoner, Shambler, Victorium, Death Loss Judgment. Here we go. So we have boop. That is what Talisman Aiden. Enhancements. It's 15, yeah, so excellent. So that would get you it. So like this is something you could potentially do. So you start all the Death Shroud in reserves with Typhus in reserves. Typhus can detach as well, because you might need a turn. So if you're going for a late push and you're going to turn 3, Typhus can come in solo with the +3-inch contagion on him, so he can deep strike with a 12-inch contagion, and then he can set up all the drops going on afterwards. Like there is that option. Obviously, this unit here, with it being able to advance, is also, and how big it can be because if it strings out, is also a great choice for having the +3-inch contagion range on it because you can swing a lot in there. A lot of people will try and get in instead spawn. A lot of people rely on spawn. So for example, like you might see, like, for example, another build you could potentially do would be to go triple haul just to make sure you don't have any problems versus vehicles. You drop, so you drop the bloat drone for that, and then you drop like another bloat drone for chaos spawn, and that's just going to, because again, the thing with the chaos spawn is they are much more capable of spreading contagion because you're free to go through walls with them. That's obviously 80 points, which then gives you 25 points that you float in because we're floating 5 points because of Vile Vigor, which unfortunately just put us off Warp Rot, but you do have Face of Death in your list, so you drop Face of Death, and now you can pick Uppy Downy up as well. For example, there you go, Necros. Dat Sundays, thank you for being a member for 2 years, you absolute legend. Thank you so much. That is crazy amount of support. Thank you. That is insane. Thank you so much, mate. Okay, so your opponent's usually playing Custodes. That's fine. So if you're usually playing Custodes, then the damage 3 is then a lot more relevant. So what I would recommend is, let me put it back. So it was 222, was it, on the engines in the original list? Right, because this is quite important information. Now, if a opponent is playing Custodes, the flat 3 damage on these guns is actually pretty relevant. So what, and obviously we can't have that guy there. So the question here then becomes, what do we drop? Probably, if you're worried about Custodes, probably the Haul is like your least useful thing. Because like the multi-metals and stuff are great. The Spitters are great against it. Again, if you're an infantry meta, the Spitters are fantastic. You could obviously also just drop one of these. Like one of these engines has to get dropped somewhere, more than likely. And then you could pick up, I don't know, man. I really like the 6-man does work there, so you can do the 6-man. So you go 6-man to make sure it's lead. You probably go that way, to be honest. Maybe he's got a grav tank. Yeah, those grav tanks are. So what I will say is, you're probably not winning the ranged fight against that grav tank anyway. It is 2-up save. It's a god invulnerable. It's an absolute pain in the ass, and it will one-shot your vehicles every time it sees them, which is incredibly annoying. So in that instance, I don't even know if you bother trying to duel that tank. I don't think you realistically do. I think instead you drop out, because you really need that Vile Vigor. Like straight up trade would be like this out, spawn in. The spawn just play safe. Again, the spawning here are only to enable your drops. That's it. So the spawn You don't push them forward. You don't try and hold an early primary with them and get yourself charged and killed by Custodes. They need to be safe. You play them back, and then on the turn you have to go. You go turn. These guys move advance. You're not looking to charge them. Just to move advance, get the contagion off, and then drop these on some core units. Now, if you keep, and again, that's what these guys are also for here. These bloat drones. These bloat drones are also great for playing up there. Like I said, you could drop the hauler, and you could just do this, like this as well. Gives you tons of anti-infantry to flamers to shoot at the Custodes because they really don't like anti-infantry 2-up. You've still got your flat damage 3s here to try and deal a bit of range damage. The 15 points you save down to the spawn here then lets you pick up Vile Vigor. So that would probably be okay. But I think when it comes to Custodes specifically, and again, it depends on the Custodes he's running. But I think in general, because the problem is this probably overkills absolutely everything it touches. This unit of Death Shroud probably overkills everything. And ironically, into Custodes, like VV is good because the -1 damage and all their melee is like damage 2, so just halving it all is kind of ridiculous against them. But obviously, then it makes this unit here worse again, you could potentially use this in Deep Strike, come in and just shoot a unit of Custodes to death. But again, the problem there being that then you got too much in reserves, your opponent just rushes you down. I don't even think that's legal given the amount of points that are here. To do that, you would then have to do something like this, have him start on the board with Warp Rot Talisman, and then you can put these 2 units in reserves. That goes up on the go turn, comes down. At the same time, all these drop. That could work, but now you're having to find space for your Warp Rot Talisman there. So that is a potential. Because at this point, you're looking at the Vile Vigor might not be as important then. I still would like to have it, but if you're going to have these in Deep Strike and drop in and shoot something, less important. Still would rather have it, don't get me wrong, but at least it's an option. You usually keep all your terminates in reserves. Right, so if you're playing this one, normally, this unit should be on the board with Vile Vigor. This should be starting on the board. This is like your wall of like meaty guys. I'm just going to skip that. This normally starts on the board. This sort of pushes up your middle, hides behind buildings, sort of just gets into the middle point, and then on the go turn moves, advances down and shoots something to death. Now, if you're going for big drops, what I would recommend to stop your Custodes opponent just running you in, because if they get first turn and they've got like Wardens, for example, they could just absolutely bomb it down at you, and then you get killed before you even get anywhere. So if someone's going to do that, I would consider at that point having this unit needing to get Warp Rot Talisman. Like, these can start in reserves, that's fine, but then we really need to find Warp Rot Talisman over here. So whether that is, like I said, dropping a hauler here, picking up spawn, we drop the Face of Death. I think that gives us 30 points. Because spawn are, please be 80. Yeah, that would do it. So I would drop Face of Death. I would drop 1 hauler, pick up 2 spawn, play them super safe, just as contagion enablers, pick up Warp Rot Talisman. This unit can start on the board, because you can obviously threaten fight on death if someone wants to come into you. And then on the go turn, so your opponent hopefully plays a bit scared, they don't want to come near you, just keep reminding them, I've got fight on death, and you've obviously got these things to play forward and sort of score, and these things to shoot some Custodes if they come out. And then you go turn, you drop in 6, you just pick this up, you drop this 6, you drop this in, and this just absolutely just blows a unit away with guns. Like, that would work. Now, for the Blight Lords, you go double Reaper Autocannon, double Spewer, double Blight Launcher, the rest bolters. The Flail is a complete trap. Do not take the Flail. It is not very good. Just take the guns and the bolters, and that is it. That's all you're going to need. And make sure when you come in, you just absolutely obliterate like whatever you're shooting at. So these guys want to shoot some Custodes. And a good 1-2 punch you can do, obviously, is that if he's taking Wardens, which a lot of them will be, if he's going to pop his Feel No Pain, again, he has to announce it at the start of the phase. So you just remind him in the shooting phase, just try and line up like 2 targets with this, and just be like, cool, do you want to pop your Feel No Pain? And make sure you've got a charge followed up with like this unit, or like the Typhus and 3-man. And just say, hey, do you want to pop it? If he says no, you go cool and blast him with all the Blight Lords. If he says yes, you go cool, put the Blight Lords elsewhere, and then go in the charge phase. Because they won't have the Feel No Pain in the charge phase. So, for me, this is where I'd be at with your list. So, in this here, we've got the same thing. We've dropped the 2 haulers. We've picked up another bloat drone, because you aren't running that gunfight with that tank anyway. So, just play dodging around buildings as best you can. Try not to let it get line of sights. Pick up Warp Rot Talisman in this. Start this on the board if you need to, because you can threaten fight on death. It also has a massive, so you can't come near me because I will charge you and I will kill you. And then on your go turn, you pick this up. Because my worry is you put all this in reserve. You put all this in reserve. One, I don't even know if that's legal. If it is legal, then if you were to put this, if this is your entire army on the board versus me, like this, I'm going to run you down instantly. I'm not going to let you have a second turn, especially if I go first. So for me, that would be a good way of going about it. So swap them out for Spawn. Spawn can just here to do early tempting target, early scoring nonsense, get killed, it's fine. And then just have the turn where you basically use the bloat drones to get contagion where you want it. Pick up your Blight Lord, your Death Shroud here, drop them in, drop in the other's Death Shroud, drop in the Blight Lords, shoot something to death, and then just go for all your charges and basically go from there. And then make 4-ups, because that's Death Lord's chosen. It is unfortunately, it was one of the most nerfed attachments with our points changes, just because it has a large reliance on Death Shroud, for example. So it's been a bit unfortunately nerfed harder than it should have been. But if you're good at rolling 4-ups, you can still make sure your opponent has a terrible game by just absolutely 4ing up out of it. And it's still very fun. And obviously you've got your sickening impact and things like that. So in this big squad here, you can even with Typhus, you line up Typhus and then this squad, you can go Typhus does, so here's your Warden Brick. Here goes Typhus, D6 mortal wounds. I'll chuck a grenade at you from this guy for average 3 mortal wounds. Then I'll charge in, have 7 dice and do 6 potential mortal wounds there. So you can just do things like that and just mortal wound a squad potentially to death before they even get anything. And because the cool thing is, because the mortal wounds from the charge especially are in the charge phase, if he wants to use the 4-up Feel No Pain against that on his Wardens, so again 2, because Wardens are 3 wounds each, you will average get 6 from this squad if they all make engagement range. You will kill 2 Wardens on impact and they won't be able to use the 4-up Feel No Pain. And if they do use the 4-up Feel No Pain, remember the charge phase is separate to the fight phase, so they will not have it for the fight phase then. So yeah. But yeah, just have a go with that. See how it goes. Let us know. I'm glad the dice were rolling hot for you. Hell yeah. We definitely don't weight them. Well, mine definitely ain't anyway. Right, we've got time for one more tonight. Is anyone in the chat who's got a list in there and would like looking at? We've got time for one more tonight. We try and get through 4 a night. We've done 3 now. We've actually got different lists again. We got Shamble/Hammer/VV here. We've got a Taliban list here, and then we've got a Death Lord chosen list down here as well. Am I sure they weren't weighted? No, I'm sure they were weighted. We 100% slam them in and make sure they are weighted every single time. Like that is what we do. We weight everything. We like to just put a little bit of lead in there, a little bit of cheeky lead. Right, so we got Mr. Mikeway and Mr. Alistair, who's put in a list. Right, tag me in your list if you can. I'll have a look at them, and we'll pick the interesting one. So Alistair, so just what? I need to know your Discord names as well, because not everyone has the same name they do to the thingies. I need to know their Discord name and your whatever it's under posting. So if you can tag me in your own post, that helps out massively as well. Yours is 1,500. Mike, what are you doing to me? It's yours in down here areas. Virulent Vectorum. Okay. I was supposed to be message, right? Okay. Well, I can probably get through. I know your Discord name, Mike Way. I know yours, obviously, Hellbrute Connoisseur. Right, yours is Lee. Right, okay. I might be able to actually blitz through both of these because Mike's is pretty straightforward. It's about as creative as Mike's brain can be. Currently undefeated. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Right. Okay. So it's we've got the Demon Prince. No feel no pain, you crazy bastard. You absolute psychopath. What is this about? No feel no pain on the Demon Prince. Okay. Alright. I'm listening, Mike. I'm listening. Demon Prince, these guys, then we have a lot of Poxes. You're Potato, aren't you, Necros, I think? I'm pretty sure. Please don't be offended if I don't remember your Discord name. Natalie will confirm I am just absolutely useless with Discord names, and I have a guild on WoW, and I still don't know people's names in there. So much for not creative dumbass. Okay, we got a lot of poxies here. Ooh, look at this fancy one with Arch Contaminator as well. Ooh, aren't you fancy? So if you want your list reviewed, Nerd Boy, okay, and also thank you very much to Rapid Berserker, who's just become a Blight Lord. Thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate that. So again, I'll explain it because he's just become a member as well, and he can obviously get his list reviewed in here as well. So once you become a member of Blight Lord, so if I was just a member in general, go to our YouTube channel homepage, click the See Perks button, and then you will find a link to join the Discord. Once you are in the Discord, oh yeah, you do, Nick. I'm sorry, Nick. I'm so bad with names. You're not Potato Smells. Once you're in the Discord, go to your settings, connections, and you'll see you can link your YouTube and your Discord account together. Once you do that, the entire thing will be unlocked, and then there'll be a channel called Blight Surgery. You just post your list in there, and basically I just try and go through as much as we can when possible. So let's then go into here. So then we have an LOV. Whoop, LOV. Then we have a Talima. Boop. 5 Plague Marines, Chaos Rhino. We need the Chaos Rhino. Where you at? I threw it away somewhere. I threw it to the void. There we go. Rhino. Whoop. Rhino for the Plague Marines. Chaos Spawn times 2. Whoop. That is a lot of contagion as well. You don't want that. 2. You need a 2-up Feel No Pain. I ain't got any Feel No Pains for you. I'm sorry, brother. They took my Feel No Pains away from me. I'm sorry. they took everything from me. 2 Fetid Bloat Drones at the back here. 2 Pathetic Blight Haulers. There we go. 1, 2. We love Pathetic Blight Haulers, don't we? They're so cute. Look how nice I try and make all the lists look. I try and make them have character. And then we have a 1 Poxwalker squad as well. So he's going to spot for them, obviously. So we've got Tallyman sitting on home objective here. We've got a spotter here with the Demon Prince of Foot. So look, so you got 100 points here on this Lord of Poxes with Arch Contaminator. And the thing is, with the 4-year-olds to hit and wound, from Arch Contaminator, it's actually quite a lot of damage that can do. That can actually deal quite a smacky amount of damage. Now, I actually don't mind the Demon Prince without the Feel No Pain here. Like, I obviously would like to get it, but the question is, like, what do we cut? And, like, you could potentially, like, look at cutting Chaos Spawn onto Poxwalkers if you're floating any points, but that doesn't feel good, because I think that the Chaos Spawn is super important here to enable this Death Shroud squad to come into work. Now, the thing is, at the lower point games, the Demon Prince does allow you to still, even without the Feel No Pain, the CP discount is incredibly important for -1 damage, because obviously, when you're at 1,500 points, damage output on your opponent's side is usually less, so any of your defensive abilities actually multiply because your opponent's ability to deal damage to is innately lower than prior. So having the one -1 damage for a CP, like, that's still good on a toughness 12 Demon Prince with a 4-up invulnerable, especially when you can then follow it with a Leech Spore option. Now with a Tallyman in here, this means you're going to have quite a lot of CP advantage in most of your games as well. Like, honestly, like, as it is, Mike, it's pretty damn good, because the thing is, you also have, like, this guy comes in solo, can do actions. So, like, you look at it in terms of scoring pieces, Tallyman can do actions, Poxwalkers, if they live, can do actions, Rhino can do actions. You don't mind your Haulers doing an action, because, again, a lot of the time you might just be in range, and you got a lot of villains to do actions. So, actions, really good economy there. You are quite elite in terms of, like, you don't have tons of cheap units, but it's kind of made up for with the Demon Engine package, because you got 4 demons there. But everything here does, part of the Poxwalkers, do decent damage. Like, the Lord of Virulence, solo, especially in 1,500 point games, you can still go and punch, like, 5 scouts to death, no problem like that. Like, the only thing I'd see this really struggling against is, like, Knights, for example, but again, like, that's a skew matchup. It's just awful, but you still got points to deal with it. You've got these bloat drones that can deal a lot of damage here, and you've also got these you've got the blight holes that can help out with that, and obviously this squad here still absolutely pumps anything. Do we have any upgrades like Demon of Nurgle? Do like that? Good choice. So the only real question I have here is, and you'll have to tell me really, Mike, has Arch Contaminator been worth the 25 points over the Feel No Pain on the Demon Prince? because obviously the Demon Prince is tried, tested, proven. Like having him fight Feel No Pain again. I just talked about how defensive boosts at lower points games are even more powerful because a lot of people don't have as much damage to basically. Oh, Knights of Band, excellent, brilliant, sweet. So the fight Feel No Pain. I personally, because and again it's because I'm a defensive player, I would take the Feel No Pain off the Lord of Poxes. So I'll take the Arch Contaminate off there. But if the Arch Contaminate, I can see the argument for it because Real Wounds is massive. Like, and again, it helps this squad punch up so hard. And let's not forget, it also works on the shooting. Now, the shooting is less important because you have a Rhino, obviously, so the Rhino can shoot and then you can Real Wounds. But charging things that are like behind walls, and that's the thing we got to look at here because what here is clearing their opponent off their objective. And that is, I also real one for Dev is pretty nice. And that's a question that's really left to this Rhino. These guys can maybe like contest the point for a turn if they just walk and advance onto it. Spawn don't really kill things off objectives. You don't really want to be bringing this in just to clear a point. So what you need is you need a unit that's going to be able to go onto your opponent's objective on their primary and kill what's on that point, or at least out OC it. And the thing is, this squad has both options. So if it's something with fight first, you can still obviously throw bodies onto it and just out OC. But if it's anything that doesn't have fight first, because of the real wounds in here, it can hit really, really hard. Like, it can hit up pretty damn good because you, in this squad here, you can have 15 effective power fist attacks, so 822 with lethal. Plus, you can also obviously get -1 extra from the what do you call it? There's also a caster. Have I missed a caster? You haven't put it in your list. Are you sure? There's no caster on your list. Double check your points. There's no caster on it. I can see Demon Prince and Nurgle, Lord of Contagion, Lord of Poxy, Lord of Runs, Lord Tallyman. If there's a caster in here, I like this even more because then we have a semi-plague bus. And a semi-plague bus gives me a semi. Didn't hear that. So you did drop the caster. Okay, cool, that's fine, yeah. I don't mind that. Like, obviously, Plague Bus, I think, is the commitment. I would like to see 2 in there. Out-OCing, yeah. You know what? There is an argument to be made for the I can bear it out OC. Yeah, I reckon the DST is probably the better shout here. Just, again, this is your problem-solving unit. Like, the rest of them can do good damage. They're all pretty decent. But you need a unit that just absolutely chunks whatever it goes into. And I think that's where your Death Shroud Terminates and your Lord of Contagion is going to be. So, like, honestly, I don't think I changed too much. Like, if this guy's getting good value, like, you could make an argument to change Typhus, the LOV out for Typhus, but I love the LOV with these bloat drones, and even with the haulers, just to give the real ones to hit, especially in, like, VV, if you're playing, which you are playing, you can reroll the shot amount, now you reroll the hits, and especially at low point games, being as efficient as possible is really important, so having these guys here, just having reroll the shot amounts, rerolling the hits, just really helps put that damage to the next level. I don't think I would then really drop anything. Like, the hard thing is that 1,500 points is not much room to play around with. Like, let's be honest. Like, again, I could recommend, like, I could say maybe put Typhus in here, but again, the second this guy gets replaced with Typhus, you lose so much damage because you lose the sustained, you lose the lance, and then this unit is no longer a problem solver, whereas the Lord of Contagion is a problem solver, plus the second life is also incredibly valuable as well. So, like, honestly, I don't think there's honestly not too much I can really recommend to change here. Like, you could, like, I could say to you, if you're not having to clear points, like, that entire unit could, like, become, like, a Plague Bus pseudo. Like, you go Plague Bus, and then you float in, what? You float in 75 points, so you could go, like, Plague Bus, another squad of 10 Poxwalkers. So, like, if you're in, like, a heavy melee meta where you're getting pressured a lot, like, so if there's a lot of melee players, you could do something like this. Because then you have double screen, and you have a heavy punishing unit to punish the screen with the dual playcasters in here. Because again, it's really good at punishing melee, who try and push you right early. Especially if there's no knights as well. A lot of melee pressure is going to be from infantry armies. So, like, that would be really good at punishing that. But if you're being more of the aggressor, which I know you can be a bit sometimes, Michael, because you like playing a bit more aggressive than I do, then this unit here being like the one that's going to go in and flip aggressively, those points, is probably going to get you a lot more value. Again, it's the difference between defensive player and aggression player. I would go with this because it's more of a defensive sort of build. So I can punish like this. The Demon Prince can do loan up. It also gives me more options for loan up with the second unit of infiltrators here. But like, I think your build's also completely fine, honestly, Mike. So I would trust yourself on this one. It looks solid. I don't see any direct weaknesses. You've got answers to problem solvers. And again, just the question of that enhancement. But if you found the Arch Contaminate to be doing wonders for you, don't mix it up. As we always say, like, it's hard to offer feedback on a list that you're saying is undefeated because you at that point, dude, you got to trust your gut. Trust yourself, Mike. You're a good player, man. You've got this. Don't worry about it. Right. And last but not least, I'll try and get this one quickly done for Alistair before we head off today. This one here. Plague Storm. Okay, no hammer. Hammer list. Right, let me go quick. LOC, LOV with 10 plus emissions. Says the loan up guy. Plague Boss. Fucking love Plague Boss. There we go. Plague Boss. There we go. Plague Boost. We go to Taliman. We love a Taliman. And then we go to the Chaos Rhino we've already got. We have, okay, a 6-man squad of Death Shroud Terminators. Now that is a little odd. That is a little different in Hammer. But I'm not totally against it, and I'll get to why. Triple HBL drone. I think I know where this is going. Is it going to be triple engines all the way? If we have a flesh mower, okay, we have a flesh mower drone. I like that, a little bit of a little cheeky flesh mower, you know. You ever know when you need a little cheeky flesh mower, which I've probably threw somewhere. I think he's up here somewhere. Flesh mower. Yoo-hoo. Did I delete you? I deleted you, didn't I? I'm sorry, little guy. You will be my flesh mower for this one. Apologies, bloat drone. This bloat drone is a flesh mower. Here you go. 1, 2 Mythic Blight Haulers. So 1, 2 Mythic Blight Haulers. 1, 2. 1, 2. And 2 pot. I was like, man, this list seems really small. I was like, where are all the points going? And then I saw it. I saw it. You bloody monster. And then guess what, everybody? So this is our list. Looking a little small, yeah, a little cheeky. I have one in the VB list. I do. Thank you, Necros. You are very much smarter than me. That was gonna really irk me. There we go. And then we need, ta-da! The spoiler. Okay, so this was tried and tested. Now, absolutely love the Plague Bus in Mortarian's Hammer. The extra range, the ability to move through walls, gets you angles your opponent's not expecting. And again, no one expects this much damage from a Rhino. It is disgusting and it's very, very, very funny. And if you ever find yourself with 10 points spare, you give one of them 3 Overwatch. If you know they're going to die, you drive it up, you disembark them with 3 Overwatch, you can disembark both, get the wound rolls, shoot them away, and then just be like, cool, if you move, I'm also going to Overwatch you. Like, just again, it's just extra value from a unit that might be suicided as a Plague Bus. Now, this guy's going to sit with these bloat drones here. Word for the wise, do not do this. Do not put 3 demon engines around this guy, especially if your opponent is a fast army, because if they all get tagged, you're shit out of luck. 2 normally follow him round. Never just 1, though, because if that gets popped, then his loan up's gone. So always try and keep him near like 2 vehicles, but also like don't, if you're against a fast army like Emperor's Children or something, please don't group them up. I've seen so many people lose games because they got all triple bloat drones tagged and then looked right sad and silly for the rest of the game. Now the reason I like the Lord of Contagion here is quite often in these lists we're going to see 2 squads of Death Shroud Terminators with Lords of Contagion because they're trying to make use of the ability to pick a unit, put it into Contagion and Deep Strike on it. Now, the problem is when you do 2 3-mans, you need 240 points in Lord of Contagions in an archetype of a list that got absolutely fucking dumpstered by points changes, so it's really rough. So consolidating to 1 big one does mean it's kind of going to overkill whatever it is, but it does mean you're still bringing across that Deep Strike threat. You're also going to be bringing a massive chunk of stuff that needs to be dealt with, which means on the turn that you bring this out, this unit, you drop it in, you go for a charge. Not only is it going to absolutely dumpster kill everything, they're going to have to, again, if you just be smart with how aggressive you get with other stuff, like you can tag things, get aggressive with a Plague Boss, they're really going to have to pick what they're going to try and deal with, because they're going to have to try and ignore this unit and deal with the other demon engines who've all just exposed themselves, or and the despoiler potentially, or they full focus that unit, and then the rest of your things are going to get a full, complete, get away out of jail 3 card. So I do like the fact this, because basically, if this wasn't here, you would have to like drop, like you could do, like the alternative build would be something like this. So you this would be like the alternative. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This would be like the alternative build here. Double Lord of Contagion, 2 3-mans, like this. And like that's still pretty good. So I feel like if you didn't want the big 6-man and you wanted to 3 up, this is also still really viable because the HBL drones are good. The problem with the HBL drones though being that the Knight Despoiler is the same profile, minus one power 1 AP, but he also doesn't get the reroll, so I do actually like this being in here. And freeing this up, because it just gives you that flexibility, a bit more freedom. And again, if you come across games where this is just absolutely overkilling everything, you could also potentially, split this up. If you ever find any spare points as well, like if any points changes come in, you obviously can give this the reroll, the Overwatch enhancement, which is really nice to be able to get 3 Overwatch, especially with 7d6 flamers. That's going to do a lot of damage as well. So like the list itself is pretty solid. Like, I'm not sure there's too much I would particularly change. I love Plague Bus in here completely. Also, don't be afraid to put this thing in reserve sometimes as well, if it looks like it's going to be quite hard to approach your opponent. It has consumed them. I apologize. Okay, they are one with the Rhino now. There you go, saved them. So, him blown up, nice. You could argue like the Fetid Bloat Drone could become another hauler, just like for the redundancy's sake, and give a bit more focus on the stream. But I kind of like the little bit of melee pressure there as well. So like, there's an argument to be made to take Gatling cannons on this thing, but the problem is the Gatling cannons have the closer range, so it kind of force you a bit closer. Whereas this thing can kind of just sit at the back and blast things away with the AP2 battle cannons, because of -1 save. You will always take -1 save in this detachment, though. This detachment has to be -1 save, especially with the Despoiler. If you take the Gatling, sometimes you can take -1 to hit, but this isn't really a list that's looking to outlast your opponent. It's looking to kill them. So there's a couple of arguments to be made for what changes you could make. Like I said, you could drop an engine out to get thingy. There's not really too much area for changing. The only other direction would be to, like, drop the Plague Bus, but I do enjoy the Plague Bus quite a bit. I think it's pretty useful. Also, if you come across an army that's I don't think we did yours Phoenix Toss this time, but you are here now. So what I will do is I'll make a note, Phoenix Toss, as we did last time, and you will be first on the next one. There we go. So if you're ever in here and yours hasn't been done this stream, I will make sure we get yours done on the next one. So Phoenix Toss, you'll be first in queue for the next one, my guy. So I do think the list is pretty good. I obviously think it struggles a bit due to how expensive like the stuff can be. But if your opponent has a bad bounce turn against like this Death Shroud brick, or you get a good target for something for this to charge into, the biggest concern is going to be screens, and having this thing get screened out and get no good value. So actually, given your propensity words to be able to kill vehicles through weight of dice and through these guys charging them, I'd actually potentially be interested in something more along the lines of like this, just to make sure like these now can play forward, these can skirmish. Haulers aren't great at skirmishing because most skirmishing things to me, and there's a lot of infantry in the meta at the moment, is infantry, and you need to be able to clear them out to get a good drop shot for this. No wonder Dave built you this enlisted 6 Death Shroud and a lot of Contagion in it. Thanks, Dave. So I would potentially, so I could even see this. Like, I could even go drop the mower, and keep one Blight hauler in there potentially if you want a bit of anti-tank. But I think the flamers, or even just 2 flashers, something to just fight early to get rid of screens, to spray them away. So that means that we can get a nice turn where we can pick 2 high value targets for our -1 save Contagion, get a good drop, and go into that important unit. Because the problem is, we don't want to have to bring out our bloat drone and stuff to kill like 5 infiltrators. But the problem is those 5 infiltrators can stop us getting the Death Shroud anywhere important. So we need to be able to make sure we have early skirmishing that can delete that. So for like, if we build this list here, like we have skirmishing in these 2 bloat drones here. The Plague Bus can also be used to skirmish, because again, if they're sending out 5-man elf teams, like the Rhino alone can bolter and tank shock. So you can send out, so like if there's 2 units on the field, you can disembark 1 caster, go for 1 squad, have the Rhino come out, poke its head out, flame another squad, or go drive and kill them, keep 1 caster back. The caster can then just come out and do actions next turn. There's loads of, like, don't be too obsessed with staying inside that Rhino. If you need to clear screens, you got to clear screens. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing for this, is to get rid of those low value targets. And then with the low value targets gone, that's when you can bring in this Death Shroud unit, get into some meaty, get into some crunchy, and that's when you're going to start getting the value over your opponent. So yeah, I think that's probably I'd recommend taking it, is something like that. Just making sure that we have like that ability to clear those early like 1 wound squads, 5-man squads, and you could have mowers or the spitters. I think that's going to be like the way forward here. But yeah, so that's going to bring us to the end of tonight then. So it's 5 lists done tonight actually. Hopefully there's some helpful hints to you there, Alistair. Sorry to go a bit quicker through the last 2 there. I tried to get you both in, make sure everyone's happy and had a choice. Phoenix Toss will do yours. Phoenix Toss, whichever it's however it's pronounced. Hopefully you guys can get some use out of that. I'll put this on for the goodbye again. So I will once again ascend. I will transcend my mortal form. Oh, God, it's so warm. Oh, I am transforming. I am like a beautiful butterfly. There you go. I have morphed. People want Kirby. Okay. Kirby! Kirby, come here. I will try and summon him. Kirby, what's this? Come on, bud. What's this? There's some treats. I'm going to have to bait him. I'm going to have to bait him with peanut butter. Can you bring the peanut butter, Nat? I have become... There we go. I'm trying to summon him for you. Oh, don't go out your way to buy plague spitters, though. Don't go. You don't. We don't want to make people go forced to buy things. Like if you got mowers will do great as well. They'll also be fine. I just like spitters because spitters can go out, shoot one screen away, and then also threaten another screen coming out. Because obviously you have the Overwatch capacity, whereas mowers go out, kill a screen, and then stand there, and their second screen can just come out and replace them. Whereas the Overwatch kind of helps you with that. There we go. Here he comes. People want the big curbs. Come here, buddy. Come here. Wait there. Wait there. Come here. Come here. Come here. Right, cut sweets. I got you. I got you. Oh, oh, it's so heavy. Oh. Oh. There you go. Streamers, the big curbs. Come here. Sis. Let's be up. Oh, there you go. So yeah. So. While my dog enjoys some, it is dog-approved peanut butter, do not worry, it is perfectly fine for him. So while he's tucking in on that, and you can probably hear him, which is, dog ASMR for yous. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed tonight's stream. So again, I'll be back on tomorrow. I'm hoping Dirtbags can join us tomorrow. I have messaged him with times and stuff, because I'm waiting for a reply from Derek. Hopefully you can get him on. Obviously have a chat about his list and whatnot. And learn some things like Taliban, so that'd be really cool, and obviously how Worlds and stuff went, which is going to be awesome. So I'll let you know about that one. Failing that, we'll be on live anyway with me and the boys, talking about, I've got my event this weekend, so I'm going to obviously talk about what I'm taking to that and my plans and hopes for that one. So we'll see how that goes, but for now, everybody, I'm going to love you and leave you all. Hope you all have a fantastic evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight and for joining for the plague surgery. Blight surgery thing, whatever. I need to rename it, really. I will catch you all on the episode tomorrow, and again, I'll try and get that video out for you as well for the Deathlord's Chosen sample list. I've been a bit behind on videos due to unfortunate real life circumstances that have been happening, which I'm trying to get control of by removing some current responsibilities from my life that are taking up a lot of time. Nothing bad. It's just I may have took on a bit more than I can chew in terms of like coaching and things like that, so it's just trying to strike a balance between everything, because full-time job plus YouTube plus streams plus videos plus coaching, not great, plus trying to do my own hobby plus trying to go to events. I overloaded myself a little bit, but we will be fine. So for now, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I will catch you all on the next episode. Why are you playing Death Guard right now? They aren't meta relevant. Sorry, Necros, what can I say? I'm not a tourist. I'm here for the long haul. Anyway, take care, everybody. Night-night. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
In the void, where the warm winds howl, a fleet once noble, now destined to fall. Grave warden stir, betrayal takes shape, Typhon's whispers, sealing their fate. lost to the shadowed lie, a fleet adrift beneath a darkened sky. The wolf's cruel grasp, unyielding and tight, chaos awaits in the endless night. Whispers of power, a pestilent tide, Mortarian's pride, with nowhere to hide. The destroyer plague, a grim reward, Nurgle's laughter echoes aboard. Bound by decay, they rise in his name. The death god transformed, never the same. Plague-born sons with torment they bled, shambling forth where angels fear to tread. Mortarian stands, his sons by his side. Through agony storm, their oaths collide. Grandfather's hand, the pact is sealed. The legion reborn, their fate revealed. Lies in the armor, rot in the soul. A Primarch remade, his heart grown cold. In terror's shadow, their war drums beat. Pestilent warriors, no chance of retreat. Through breach and ruin, their banners fly. With death's embrace, they'll never die. The Lion's Gate, where hope was torn. Jagged ties, blade meets the Plague-born. Bound by decay, they rise in his name. The death god transformed, never the same. Plague-born sons with torment they bled, shambling forth where angels fear to tread. Typhus herald, chaos born, Mortarian's wrath, the plague sworn. In the warp, their legacy thrives, eternal servants where corruption lies. Mortarians fall, Typhus ascends, the death god song, it never ends.